You're seeing my room as is. It is JLJ this evening. My computer's acting up. I have no background. I'm still, dealing with the roof situation and all that, and the room situation. So I got all this shit in here. But this is real life. I'm real life. Hi, kids. Welcome to another edition of JLJ this evening. I'm James Lott Jr. here on JLJ Media. This week is JLJ this evening. Next week will be JLJ After Dark. We kind of going back and forth. So that's what we're doing. So tonight's episode, because people ask me questions all the time, and I have a blog post, I write books, all that stuff. So I occasionally like to answer some of the questions here on the public forum. This is very interesting, and I have no shame. I talk about everything. I don't hide anything. So these are honest feelings of things that I've gone through, and these are 4 things that have surprised me as a podcaster / video host / stuff. One thing that really surprises me, and continues to surprise me, is when the guest doesn't share our interview. So what I'm realizing is, at first I just get offended all the time. What I'm realizing is, first of all, sometimes the guests, they don't run their own social media platforms. That's a whole other story too. We have a social media manager. They may overlook it. I mean, I catch it. I mean, who knows? I mean, there could be any reason why it's not reposted on their media. But also I've found with some people, they just never do anybody. They do all these interviews. They never share the announcement. Never share. It's not just me. They never share their videos or never share their projects. I'm like, well, that's what you do for a living. I'm like, you do these interviews. We supposedly you have fans like I do. We have, whether it's 20 fans or 2,000 or 2 million, you want your fans to see that you were on this podcast. I know for some, I'm learning as I'm getting in this business too, that some people are very weird about seeing themselves. They'll do the interviews and stuff, but like they don't watch their own stuff on TV either. They don't watch their scenes. Like everybody's different about that, which I had no idea that was like that. I had no idea people, like for me, I can watch my stuff, no problem. I know people who are in the business who hate their own voice, but they do it for a living. They enjoy doing it, but they don't like. I'm like, but your voice is. I mean, I'm like, your voice is great. I don't know, but everybody has their own thing. So I'm trying to learn that for this number one, sometimes it's embarrassment for them. They just don't, they may think they didn't look the greatest or see the greatest, they just don't do it. I'm trying not to feel like I know in some cases, because I see people do share some of the interviews they do and some they don't. They go, well, James not that important. His subscriber count is not as big as that person's, or he's not on this or not. So they may not share because of that. They'll share somebody else who's bigger, but or somebody they. But then also I noticed that because every page, and I say this for my own page, is not a democracy, it's dictatorship. That I think there are people who heavily curate their pages. There's that also. And there's a certain image they're trying to put out, which is the old PR machine, right? The whole thing. Because I know somebody who doesn't share, they like stuff, they never share anybody else's stuff on their page. It's just their stuff, what they do, what they want to put out. Each post, whether it's a video or a meme or a post, that's very much, and they feel like that's how they want to portray themselves. And I have friends that go, well, they never share our stuff together. They never share my stuff. They never like it. There's some folks who just don't do that. That's, and so it's not really about you. They're not against you. It's just more of they feel for whatever reason. And I always wonder, is it helping their business? Is it taking them where they want to be? Is it assisting where they want to go? Because if it's working for them, then I guess, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? But I'm such a community person that I'm like, no, I share my friends' successes. I share if they're doing a new book or do this. I want to share it with people. It's like, it's not just about me. I feel like we're all in this together. So it's hard for me. That's what surprised me so much. I'm like, if I want someone's podcast, I get asked to be a guest, I share the F out of it. I'm like, I put it here and there. I put it on social media and I talk about how great it was. And because I've only been on a few shows where I didn't like the show. But that's like a couple in the last 20 years. Most shows I do, I like it. I have a good time. And so I share it so that everybody can see it. And so it's really weird to me. People just they don't share it. Same goes with like, I know because there are crazy folks out there to arrest and leave. There's some folks you can't tag them in anything. Now you can always take a tag off, put a tag. You can always, once you're invited, you can do whatever you want on your end. I've been over tagged and things. I took things off. But like, if it's a snippet from the interview, and, and actually, you're saying something that's really positive, it's a great message. I understand why all of a sudden you take yourself off as a collaborator or a tag. I'm like, oh, okay, I don't know. Did I do something wrong? Did you check me out more and decide that I was a horrible person? I mean, I have no idea. Um, every once in a while it's a mistake. Every once in a while something happens a mistake. And this goes to number two, where I'm like, I usually follow everyone that I interview, obviously. And they don't follow you back. And I at first was like, oh, I've noticed that some people only follow a few folks. Like they have a lot of, and it's very specific, very specific. Then I know folks who think they're already following me. People have busy lives. Actually I understand that. I used to think that's a crack of crap, but I'm like, oh, actually that's kind of true because there's times I thought, was I following you already? Like no. Um, and some folks you get hacked, you get new accounts, you can't get to everybody again. So eventually you'll get to people again. But it's like a couple folks were like, I thought we were following each other already. I'm like, no. Like they comment on my stuff. I comment on their stuff, everything. Like we're totally engaged online, but they don't follow me back. They're like, oh. And so, but on that one, I'm just surprised by it. I'm not so a stickler about that one. Because again, it's another one of those things where everybody's very specific about that. And to me, the engagement is almost, if you engage me a lot online, it's almost like you're following me anyway. And because you know who I am. So if I see you on the street or see someone, you know who I am. So it's like that's kind of it's kind of like okay, we know who each other is. Because there are a bunch of people who I follow, and we talk almost every day online, talk all the time, and about half of them don't follow me for whatever reason, and so um, I don't it doesn't bother me as much anymore as it used to. I was just kind of like, okay, but I was just very surprised. I just thought, well, I just follow you, follow me, I follow you, and some folks they follow me on certain platforms and not on others. It's like it's crazy. Number three, um, is the free products. You always hear about that. You always go, okay. Some people, for me, what's surprising me is when they can't. Like, I get a lot of books. I do a lot of books. I have a lot of shows on books, and they won't send me the book. Book is out or whatever. And I'm like, well, I don't want to buy it. I want a free book. I'm giving you press. I mean, I'm not charging you to be on my show or anything, but I'm giving you free press to all of my people out there. I'm gonna give you a good show and do everything to make you look good and highlight your book. I actually read the books, which is not always common. Because I like reading, and because send me a book. I'm like, not even you have a thing called a galley or a PDF. Oh, you can't even send me a PDF of it or something. It's like nothing. And sometimes like no. So I have learned how to. I still won't buy it, but I won't buy it. I'm not gonna buy it. I figured out a way how to. I know how to. I've been a pro in this business for a long time. I know how to ask certain questions, and kind of act my way through it. Where it's not phony. It's a little behind the scenes for you guys. It's not really phony, but it's. I can read the book. I mean, I've read excerpts or things. There's tricks of the trade you can do, where it's still an authentic interview, but you know it could have been better if I had the book. That's what kills me. That's always kills me. But when I was doing my in-person shows at studios, I loved when I interview. I would interview people bring me T-shirts. You know, a T-shirt line. Give me some T-shirts. I will totally be a walking billboard. I will wear the shit, and it's great. Also, food. When this experience makes me laugh. Because I love it so much. The shout out to the Martine family in Inglewood who have the Fiesta Martine restaurants, and they're just amazing. They support me completely. Um, My first show, opening show at afterparty.com during the pandemic, right before the pandemic, in 2019, they were my first guest. I got them to come in, and they brought. I said, "You bring a little food so we can show it on camera, and then we can." And I was like, "And we'll give it to the staff." And so the host that work at After Party, I was like, "It's for you guys." I came in the gate, boss. They came in with all this food. It was, oh my god, it was so good too. Everybody loved it. They're like, "Oh my god." Same with Comfort LA. The guys came in, they brought food. So I'm like, because we're promoting it. I said, I'll taste it on air or at least show it. Want to take pictures with it. You're at a studio. Let's get this out there. I love that. I interviewed the chefs. It was a place called. It was a place in Hollywood that's gone now. Um, they brought some food, but then they invited me for free, which I didn't ask for. It's like there's like these perks sometimes. You're like, oh my goodness, for free to go to their restaurants and have a full course meal. They said we'll pick everything. They're like anything you don't like, and I was like, it was a soul food restaurant. No, fine. Brought my girl Lori, and we sat there and we had like a 5 course meal, and it was a tour of the place, everything. I took pictures. I mean, I promoted the f out of it. It was so. I'm so glad. It's so sad it's gone. Those chefs were great. We were treated like kings, and it's like, and we continued the relationship even afterwards, and the pandemic hit. And then they went out of business. But it was like, but I love that. I never knew that. I never knew as a podcaster, that could possibly happen. My girl Michelle Stafford always brings her Skin Nation products, skinnation.com. She always gives it out to the staff and us, and we love it. The shit works. It totally works. She knows that. So it's just kind of interesting when people, and just as I'm sitting here, Gregory Zarian, I just interviewed, he's my friend again, just sent me another one of his candles and a nice note, just thanking me for being on my show. He's so gracious and wonderful. That too, the whole people sending me presents afterwards, just for being a period. I'm like, you don't have to send me a present. I'm like, happy to have you on my show. But it's wonderful. It's just these hair care products, like I mentioned them, Pearly Egg, I mentioned them, wellness. I mean, all these places and I use the products. I show it, I use it, I showcase it. Barefoot Bubbly was a sponsor of mine for a long time. Like that's one thing I did. I had no idea that could be a perk being a podcaster. Also, the last thing I will say I'm gonna end it on a real positive note. I've made friends with many of my guests, and there are people who I still talk to from 10 years ago, 15 years ago, that we're still friends. We check on each other. I love when they come back on my shows. It's like, you have a new project, come back on, let's talk about it. A lot of them put me on their tours. Eric Braden, who just had a birthday, always when his book came out, I was like I was like one of like 10 outlets across the country that he was like, yes, James he makes sure he's on it, right? Never knew that. Never. I was like that. That to me was like, oh my god, like there are people who trust me. They know they're gonna get a good interview. Make them look good, support them, get their stuff out there. I have an audience for many of them, that direct audience, and it's so much fun, and we just stay friends. And I have some friends in the music business that I've done collaborations with later. They start out as guests. My friend Caesar, he was a guest, and we became friends. Flobo, was kind of, we were becoming friends, and we started becoming collaborators. Like it's just been this wonderful um, thing of that. It's not just they come on by, but because I'm still around, they're still around. And Asner was somebody who came on my shows a lot. Shabadu Quinones, both of them, may rest in peace, came on my shows a lot. Tony Basil I just posted something, she reposted, I tagged her, and she posted, we became friends. Like it's Sean Kanan. I mean, I've done his TV shows. I've studied Studio City. I've helped host it. It's like these things have been so fruitful and have led to so many other things that I didn't expect that either. And so I'm telling you, and I'm watching my proteges, my mentees that I have out there who are doing podcasting and having success, because I've taught them how to do it. They're seeing the benefits also. I was telling one of them, she's like, people are now, this person is sending me people now. I go, that's what you want. booking guests, which that's a lot of talks about that in our show. It can be crazy. So, but just I love podcasting. I love hosting. I love video hosting. I love this. And I'm learning every day human behavior behind the scenes and off camera, off mic. You want to say it that way? I'm learning all kinds of stuff. So it's a trip. I'm James Lott Jr. This is JLJ this evening, audio and video. Check us out anywhere you find stuff. Like, subscribe, and comment. I'll talk to you next time.